welcome back to the garage. Thanks for joining me. Got a really good one today. If you can remember, ages ago, if you follow the channel, I did a giveaway with some of these code readers. We did the little Bluetooth style that goes to your phone, and we also did the streetwise ones with the cord on them. Today we've gone up a step. We've gone to the Topdon. Now, what on earth is a Topdon? Now you say, these units, well, I'm hoping it's going to be just the ticket for what I need. Been struggling with these ones. They're just not quite got the power for the ABS, the SRS and all that sort of stuff. For basic code reading, they're okay. You can get basic codes out, but when you want to go any further, I'm really struggling with the apps. On this one in particular, it's done me head in. They keep changing the apps that you're using. They want to charge you for it, which is what we don't want. What I really wanted was a code reader that had got all the diagnostic stuff on it for all the systems, and it had free updates, because that's a massive thing. A lot of the systems, a lot of the code readers that we looked at, that I've been through the Autel and all this, they all had paid updates. You have to pay like £100 plus every year to get the updates. The Topdon is free updates for life. Now, that ain't bad, is it? This unit, you can pick them up anywhere between 150 and 250 pounds, depending. There's always deals on, you know, things happening. This is the Artidiag 600, and let's get it out of the box and see what we get. Got a little tab on the side there. Let's open it up. This is supposed to be pretty powerful. It's got 2 gigabytes of RAM in it. It's running Android 7. It's got a 6. Oh, is it? It's got the bigger battery in it. It's got a decent sized battery in it. That's what it's got. And look at that. That looks pretty tidy. That's a nice handheld unit. This is kind of semi-professional. That's how I'd like to sort of call it, if you like. It's a semi-professional unit. You can't program ECUs with this one, which is top level. If you're going to start replacing ECUs, you can't reprogram them with this. That is another level. We're not quite going to use it for that. Get a little bag there to put it in to keep it nice and tidy. But this will read ABS, SRS, traction control. It'll do your gearboxes, your automatic transmissions, Tiptronic, all that kind of thing, and it will do your engine diagnostics. It will also give us graph readouts. We can do some really detailed diagnostics with this. So I'm really looking forward to getting it on and getting it used. And the feel of it is nice. It doesn't twist. It's got solid. It's got this rubberized plastic thing around it for a bit of, yeah, I could chuck that about a bit and it would be okay. You can feel it's quite sturdy. This one isn't Bluetooth, it's wired, which I kind of wanted that. I'm thinking, I know the Bluetooth can be handy, but it can also give problems. Links dropping out when you're halfway through picking codes out and stuff. But this is pretty nice length. They got about 1 meter of wire on it. It goes straight into the connector plug on the top. But get the right way around, which is not that way, it's that way. And then we'll screw that up. That ain't never going to come out again. I won't be taking that off. Once it's in there for life. There we have it. What do you reckon to that? This also has got a touch screen on it. Nice rubberized buttons. And we'll get the film off there for a fresh looking screen. Yeah, look at that learner plate in the reflection. That's me. I'm learning how to use this one. Now, I've used loads and loads of code readers and stuff in the past. Had a lot of experience with the Bosch KTS, which is a mega bit of kit. A lot of the systems on this are very similar. So I'm hoping it's going to do a similar job to that. Let's go and plug it in the car and see how we get on. So this is the 1 series. First thing we've got to do is find the diagnostic socket, which on these is just behind here. We'll just pop that out. And we can take his 16-pin Eobd socket there and just drop that straight in. There we go. We're in. Straight away it's doing an automatic VIN scan. Look at that, that was quick, wasn't it? So it's telling us straight away it's a 2013 BMW 118 diesel. Oh, I love that. Okay, basic diagnostic report on the vehicle. So it's telling us we've got ECM engine control module has got an issue, anti-lock brakes, power steering is all okay. Right, okay, so let's see if we can go into this menu and have a look, see what's going on. Brake vacuum sensor signal. So this car's got a little issue on it where we're getting the A symbol with the little ring. It looks a bit like the traction control automatic stop-start symbol coming up. Now on the forums and stuff, that is the favourite fault, is this vacuum brake sensor. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. To be fair, it doesn't bother me, the car still runs like new, so it's not an issue, but it's still there. It's picked it up straight away, which is brilliant. So clicking on that, we can clear the code according to this. Let's just see what happens. Quick again, look at that, wallop straight out of it, fast. The touchscreen on this is really sensitive and nice. It feels not a lot different to my iPhone. Brilliant. And now I've cleared it, it's put it back down to the bottom. Right, let's go out of this then. Let's get, yes, I'd like to end the session. As long as this unit is plugged into the Eobd, it is charging it as well, so it's charging from the vehicle, loading this back up again, which is great stuff. It'll never go dead whilst it's doing its code reading. Which is something you wouldn't get with a Bluetooth model, that would go flat. Now with any diagnostic tool, if it's going to go into vehicle specific functions, like with the services, and we want to do the oil reset to turn off the service light, you're going to need to do an update on it. Now these updates are all vehicle specific, so manufacturer specific. We've got the BMW, so you have to load individually the ones that you need, because you don't want them all. There's hundreds in there and it would just be a massive amount of memory and slow the machine down. But all the popular ones you're going to need if you're doing servicing on Fords, Peugeots, Citroens, you know, all that sort of thing. Obviously I've got the BMW, so to download the file for the BMW, it's taken 20 minutes. The upside to that though is once they're in there, you don't have to do it again. It remembers it. So you'll just take the ones that you need and then it'll store those for you, so you don't have to do it again. So you can just leave this running while you're doing something else, let it load the package up, and away you go. So once it's loaded, we can go into the oil reset and the machine will take down the information it knows from the car. It'll pull all that out the ECU. It'll tell us there the distance and everything since the last service, since the oil was changed. You can go into all the menus, the brake pads and everything. It'll tell you all that information. And this has been recently serviced, so it's got another 17,000 kilometers left before it needs doing again. Look at that, look. Re-enter the values for servicing. So you click in there and you just put that to 0 and you've reset it. Job done. Now, inspection and maintenance monitors. These are a duty cycle that the vehicle always takes when you're driving round. It has a good look at those, sees if there's any issues there, and the ones that have completed their cycle are listed in green. So that's all good. Diagnose, we can do a report on that and see what's happening. We've got the engine control, the ABS, the electronic power steering. It's all there. Diagnostic requests, cruise control, windscreen cleaning. We can go into the diagnostic requests and we can look at wheel speed sensors, direction of rotations, front and back, all individually. We can do graphs on those when we're driving around, which is a really powerful tool to get information from your wheel sensors, especially with the issues that these have on the rear ones. As you can see, you can scroll down through the sensor. You can reset steering angle sensor on this as well. If you replace a track rod end and things are not quite right, you can alter that and reset it. We can also go into the run flat indicator and we can reset that as well. If you put new tyres on the vehicle, to get it all reset to 0. Lots of information that we can look at and change. If we go into the engine control module there, and we can have a look and see what we can do in here, what we can see. Shows you the ECU data to start with, and then we can module information, read fault codes, clear fault codes, or read system data. That's the one we're after. And here we go, it gives us all the information relating to that. Start the car up. This is a really interesting feature, the automatic start-stop function at the top, look, if installed, which it is, and it does my head in, I hate it. If we actually go into that, if you look there, we can switch it off. Identification, deactivation of the start-stop function, we can switch it off. How nice is that? Which is a fantastic feature again. We can just go into there and alter that. It tells you the number of starts in total here, so let's have a look at that. How many times have we started the car since new? 12,771. That's important because after so many starts, after so many, the steering lock can lock out. So sometimes we might need to reset that as well. We've got just a live data here. If I press the clutch pedal, you can see that not open, operated, which again just shows you that the live feed is working. And we'll get rid of that. We've had enough of that one. Exhaust emissions. Again, we can see some information on there. Regeneration. This is another really important. If you're thinking of buying a car and you want to make sure that the DPF is working, you can go into this setting and see when it last regenerated. And again, we can look at some temperatures and stuff there, see what's going on in the exhaust. And again, the live data on the graph. Battery voltage, it's always at the top there. See the top left hand corner where my arrow is? It's always there on every screen, but if you want to look at it in more detail, you can go into the graph. You've got data there, which is just telling you about diagnostic reports. You can print stuff off if you wanted to attach the printer to it, but we're finished with that. So the next one we're going to try the Topdon is in the 107. Now down here we've got the Eobd socket. It'll only go in one way. Straight away it's trying to do a VIN search. This is an old car though, this is a 2008, so there's a possibility that this won't find a automatic VIN. So it wants us to input it manually, which isn't a problem. On the door frame here we have the number there, VF3PCM and all that. That's the one we need to put in. Okay, so we'll pop the VIN in. There we go. Bingo, so now it likes it. It's telling us exactly what we want to know. Once we click OK, the Topdon is now looking at all the systems on the car, reading the ECUs and see if there's any faults anywhere. And if it finds anything, it'll just drop it in, which is what it's done there. So it's given us a basic diagnostic report, and when you look a bit further down, professional report, and it actually has gone into the power steering and also looked at these wheel sensors, showing some faults. We could clear the code straight from here, but let's go into a system selection. Let's just read the fault code again. So vehicle speed signal is faulty, engine speed signal. Now what we did have was a big wheel spin. Which could well have thrown this fault in, causing it. So I think we will just clear it. Clear fault memory. Bingo, clear. So that's sorted that out. So we've got quite a wide range of stuff we can choose from here. Engine ECU. You can use all these sensors, looking at them as a guide. If you've got an issue with the car, say the cooling fan's not cutting in at the right time, you can check your coolant temperature sensor and make sure that it's within tolerance and it's showing the right temperatures there. Engine RPM, look, we've got that nice and smooth. It can do the airbags, it can do the supplementary restraint system, the seatbelt tensioners. If you've got any issues with any of those, we can go into it, find the problem through the diagnosis and erase the code once we've replaced the faulty sensor, be it an airbag or a pre-tensioner on the seatbelt. Again, powerful tool for getting rid of all the airbag lights and stuff. So what we've got here, the IM monitors, inspection and maintenance monitors. This is a duty cycle monitor that monitors emission related sensors on the vehicle during a duty cycle. So the vehicle, when you're driving it, will go through a duty cycle, different events throughout your journey. When all the parameters are met, it will do something. So it will regenerate a catalytic converter, it will open an EGR valve. As long as everything matches what it should do, it'll do these certain things to make the emissions lower. And this is what this is telling you. It's just going through those duty cycles, telling you what position those duty cycles are in and what is working and if there's any faults with anything. So it's more of an American monitor rather than a UK monitor, but it's still a good tool to have. They use them in the States more for smog testing and meeting certain criteria through their MOT test. We don't go to those lengths in this country. This is a different one. This is the Black 3 Series. It's got ABS issues. Let's plug this one in and see how long it takes for it to find it, being a different car. This is the 118 diesel 2010 model. Bang, look, straight in there. Get the shadow off the screen. Look at that, it's quick, isn't it? Right, here we go. 30 seconds later. So there we go. We've got anti-lock braking system issues. We've got engine issues. We've got SRS issues. We've got everything going on here. Let's see what it says about the ABS. We've got wheel sensor right, front right, rear. Yeah, look, it's throwing them all out because of the rear rings that are a bit out of shape. It's causing us all kinds of problems. And that one there, vehicle speed. So it's all related to the ABS on the back of the car, which we know about. What's the engine? This is probably going to be something particulate filter, vacuum sensor. Again, the same as the other car. It is a common problem on these, this vacuum sensor. Right, let's go out of that. Let's just try and clear it and see what it says. There we go. It will go until we come back to do it again, and it'll when we start moving that, it'll come back on again. But it's cleared them all up, got rid of all that lot. Let's end the session and let's go into Eobd. Let's have a look, see what we can find on here, see what sensors we can look at. Let's have a look at some live readings. We'll start the car up. Accelerator position, we can go for the airflow, ambient air temperature. So we've got three things going on there. That looks pretty cool. Let's have a look at that, see what's here's some live readings coming out, and we can get graphs on those as well. So it's saying it's 15 degrees outside. We can look at the airflow there, and if we rev that up. And at that moment, the postman arrives with a parcel.
Yeah, wonderful stuff.
You couldn't time it better, could you?
Lift the revs up, you can see air intake is changing. Go back out of that one. Click on going to remove them from the chart.
This is also a good one. If it's low, you may well have a blocked fuel filter or an issue with your pump in the tank, or even the car could be out of fuel.
So we've got quite a comprehensive number of tests there and sensors we can look at. So we've got the battery voltage, and it's also up on the top corner there telling us what the vehicle battery voltage is, and that's there on every screen. So it's 14.3 there. Quite small, but if we could just make it out.
You can also look back into the ABS menu and you can look through the sensors in detail, isolating them and getting reports on them. Wheel speed sensors, DSC sensors, steering angle sensor, which are all really useful to look at, looking at individual ones. And like I say, with the steering angle sensor again, if you've changed the track rod end, you can reset that once you know your steering alignment is correct. So there we have it, the Artidiag 600, and it's rather a good tool, isn't it? It's not bad at all. It does everything that I need. You know, I can do all my diagnostics, I can reset the ABS system, I can reset the airbags, seat tensioners, the engine management system when I've changed and replaced and found out what the fault is, and we can read the faults in detail, freeze frame information, live data, so we know what's going on. We can see what the sensors are saying, which is a really it's a fantastic tool. It's a powerful tool, which is just what you need. It hasn't broke the bank. It's got free updates on it. What more can I say? If you like the video, if I've gone deep enough for you, if you'd like me to go more in depth, we can do that as well. But we've gone through quite a few of the systems and the settings on here to give you a really good idea as to what you're going to see. One thing that I did see, this is the Artidiag 600. They do a 600S. This one has got a more powerful battery in it. It's got a newer processor in it. It's got more RAM. But it doesn't do bleeding of the ABS system. It doesn't activate the pump on the ABS system. So if that is a feature that you're really looking for, then you might need the S. But this one is going to be slightly quicker in its protocols and its workings. So yeah, one thing to think of if you really want to bleed that ABS system. To be fair, it's not a feature that I really use. If I want to bleed the ABS system, then I will just do it manually. I'll just crank off the nipples and pull the fluid through with my bleeder. It does exactly the same thing. I'll pop links in the description for the tester off of Amazon. That really does help me out if you use those links. If there's anything more you'd like me to say about it, just drop me some comments. I'll always love your comments. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.